anyone who knows someone who has a victim mentality, right? I'm sure people in here all know somebody in their life who's always a victim, right? Everything that happens to in that person's life is framed around their victim thought process, right? Life happens to that person. You know, they're not just living life. They rarely see their challenges and setbacks as an opportunity to learn and grow. They just see everything as a personal attack against them. So let's go back and let's unpack what's going on in this text. Remember, I initially asked you about what your thoughts were about this woman in our text, right? So think about that. I wonder how many of you have thought about her the way that I have, if you're honest, with the side eye. She been married 5 times? Come on, let's be honest. She been married, and now, what is she doing? She's shacked up with some dude that she's not even married to. You know how we do. We make assumptions about people based on their story, based on what we see, based on what they present to us. So I made this assumption about her, and it has driven my narrative about who she is, about her character and her story. But I never took the time to really look at what is or might be going on. So I needed to step back, come closer, and reassess. So let's do that. So let's think about the time period that we're dealing with here, right? Samaritans and the Jews had a long history of hate and conflict. Although Judaism ultimately became the religion in Sychar, the Samaria area, the Jews saw it as a watered-down version of their faith. Because the Samaritan scriptures were limited to the Pentateuch, which is the first 5 books of the Old Testament, right? So they weren't respected as real Jews. So Jews would take the scenic route to get to wherever they needed to go before they would go through Samaria. Samaria was considered the other side of town. Samaritans to them were worse than Gentiles. They were outcasts. They were unclean. In this story, we find Jesus in violation of a few customs and social and cultural norms of the time. But I'm so thankful that we serve a God who didn't really care about being different and challenging the cultural norms to save souls, because I'm sure that's how he got to many of us. Broken rule number 1, Jesus was in Samaria. Like I said, Jews avoided going through Samaria. If they had to take a longer trip, if it took them a couple days to get to where they wanted to go, they would do that instead of going through Samaria. They didn't want to go through there. And here was Jesus, not just going through there, but hanging out at the water hole, right? Broken rule number 2, Jews did not eat nor drink with Samaritans. And here Jesus was asking this woman for a drink of water. Broken rule number 3, in this first century time period, men did not speak to women who were alone in a public place. It just didn't happen. It was a social taboo. So that's why this woman was taken aback when he addressed her, when he asked her for a drink. And she knew she was by herself, but she probably was like, are you talking to me? You know that you're a Jew and I'm a Samaritan, and we don't get down like that. We don't talk. If Jesus was willing to violate all these social and religious norms to fulfill this divine appointment, I figured I clearly have missed something in this story. I've missed something about this woman. And I may have actually been wrong about her. And I've been looking at her through my own experiences and beliefs, but needed to come closer so I can see how God saw her. So again, think about the time period. It's the first century. It's different. We have a 21st century mentality of how things go down. It was not like that back then. Women were property. They were inferior to men. They were second-class citizens. Women didn't have a say about who they married, and only men could initiate a divorce. If you find